Hey, hello everyone, good evening. Today we are going to understand a little bit more about e commerce, what the market scenario is in India, and how can a business set it up, what are the things that we need to look at when it comes to e commerce, and what are the different options that any brand has. I'm Riddhi, I am a marketing manager. I've been in the industry since last 7 years now. So I'll just begin, I'll share my screen. Okay, so what's in the agenda today? And to understand e-commerce landscape in India, where can we start? Who is the target group and how active are they? E-commerce on the website, through digital campaigns, through social media, through aggregator platforms, through Amazon, and there's a case study that we also understand. Okay, so e-commerce market landscape in India. The size of Indian e-commerce market by 2026 is expected to come to $200 billion. There are 776 million people who are using internet in India. There's 90% of year-on-year growth in tier 2 and 3 cities in e-commerce sector. So more and more people, a lot of almost 100% growth we can say year-on-year in tier 2 and 3 cities. Imagine what would be the case with tier 1. There, it's already penetrated there. And 32% of the total e-commerce share in India is from tier 2 and tier 3 cities. Despite the depressed consumer spending due to economic slowdown last year, this year the e-commerce players are expecting a strong sales growth in this financial year. The recent rise in digital literacy has led to an influx of investment. So there are a lot of people who are investing in e-commerce, which is why the growth of e-commerce is tremendous. So the opportunity is huge here if a brand wants to start on e-commerce. And besides that, not just from an investment perspective, also from the adaptation of digital devices and digital landscape in India has increased many-fold. As we all know, more than 700 million people are using internet, which means that growth is tremendous. So from both aspects, the opportunity is huge. In May, Amazon, and these are some of the facts that and recent happenings that have happened in May. In fact, a couple months ago, Amazon introduced a video streaming service within its shopping app, like a mini TV. So that's how active people are on their shopping app, that they are also providing a small entertainment factor there. In May 2021, Flipkart strengthened its grocery infrastructure. Flipkart, as we all know, was not into grocery, now it is. In May, again, Flipkart also announced that it is in talks with raising funds to almost 2 billion this year. Now, who is the target group? Now, let's get into how to set it up and how to figure out who the target group is. So, India is the 8th largest market for e-commerce with a revenue of 46 billion in 2020, placing it ahead of Canada and behind France. With an increase of 39%, the Indian e-commerce market contributed to the worldwide growth rate of 26% in 2020. We can choose by location, demographics, age, gender, tons of other features while targeting the audience. So on e-commerce, whenever we are running e-commerce, this is how there are multiple factors which will come into the play. What your product is, based on that we select what age group is going to use the product, who are going to be the most active, which platform to select, what is their background, what do they do, we can select. So over here, while advertising any e-commerce service, we have a lot of options to choose from and to filter our audience from. There were 440 million social media users in India in January 2020. In January 2021, the number of social media users in India increased by 78 million, which is a lot, which is 21% between 2020 and 21. So the targeting on social media, which we all know is very niche, and having so many users online who are online active on various social media platforms makes it very easy for us to target these people, to show them our ads and get them to buy our products. So this increase is a very good thing for people who want to start their e-commerce business. Some of the top e-commerce industry in India are fashion, mobile, tablet, consumer electronics, baby products, health and groceries. Also, groceries has in fact increased in last 1 year. Earlier, there wasn't so much, but groceries has also increased so much in last 1 year, more than 100% growth. So what does the consumer journey look like when we are talking e-commerce? So the first step when we are trying to market any product, any service, any brand in any way, the first thing is awareness. We have to make people aware about the brand, about the product, get them to believe in the brand, to trust the brand and the product, and then make them engage them. By engagement, I mean make them trust the product, give them the reviews that this product is being used by a lot of people, so you should also try it. We give them the offers. That's how we engage them. And then final step is conversion, where the person purchases the product. After this conversion happens, that person needs to be happy with the product for us to continue with that business, as well as for us to get referrals from his friends, family, all of those things. So the entire awareness, engagement, conversion, and delight. This entire customer journey can happen within a day, within an hour, or it could take 1 month's time. Now, 1 month or more than that time. That completely depends. The duration completely depends on what the product is, what service we are offering, and what are we trying to sell, what are we talking about our product, and how reliable are we. When I say it can also happen in one go, I will give you an example. When we know exactly what we want to purchase, that brand product is already in our mind. So we are already aware and we are engaged about that product. We are directly jumping to the conversion. When we don't know about a brand and we are trying to first research, that's when the awareness and engagement will happen online. After post which the conversion will happen, and the delight is again something that is an additional point that could or could not happen depending how happy the customer is with the product. So this is what an ideal journey, customer journey looks like. But at the same time, it like I gave an example, it could be linear, it could be non-linear as well. So maybe someone heard from someone about a product, and so that person is directly jumps to the engagement part and conversion. Maybe someone already knows about the product and believes in it, so it could be direct conversion. But all of the four things are happening to him. It could be online or offline. Now, what does the funnel look like? What phases does for us? What are the things we need to measure? Where do we measure it? And where are our customers flowing in? This is what this is how we understand this. So we are reaching people out through various advertisements, through our campaigns, through various aspects. These people are coming on either our website or aggregator website. By aggregator, I mean Amazon, Flipkart, all of these websites. So it could be either of the place. They are coming to the website. They are engaging with the website. The website is collecting their data, post which we are remarketing them. If they have not immediately purchased, we are targeting them again and showing them our ads again, so as to bring him to the website to convince him about the product or the service and make him purchase. Remarketing happens, which is the remarketing, and engagement happens, which is the middle of the funnel, and bottom of the funnel is when the final purchase happens and repeat purchases keep happening. Now, where do we start? What are the things that we need to the steps of starting any e-commerce campaigns? Define the approach that we are taking. When I say approach, it could be whether we want to go with our website or aggregator website, who is the target group. All of these factors will come in. So we first define what approach we are taking. Do we have our website in place, or are we relying on aggregator website only? Then what is our content strategy? By content strategy, which means what is the product that we are selling? What are we talking about the products? how does it benefit, what are the different kinds of benefits to the customer with the product. It could be emotional benefit, it could be functional benefit, it could be all of them. So how are we strategizing that content or the messaging about our product to that consumer so as to engage with him, to attract him to the product and bring him on board. Then product listing. When we say product listing, it means that to put up our product on the relevant platforms. Say for example, you are trying to sell a chocolate. The first thing that comes to mind when you say chocolate and e-commerce is Dunzo. That's where people go to order a chocolate. So Dunzo becomes a platform, aggregator platform for us. My product is chocolate. I'm listing it there. That's what I'm doing. I'm putting up my product on Dunzo, which means I'm listing it. So let's say you're trying to sell apparel, clothes. Myntra is the first platform that first aggregator platform that you look at for listing. That's what product listing is. Now, one product can have multiple aggregators. It's not necessary that it will only have one. It is necessary although to find out which are the primary ones and to ensure that we are present on these primary ones and followed by the secondary and tertiary and so on. Then coming to landing pages. Landing pages means where are we bringing, when people are looking at our ads and promotions, where are we landing them? What are we showing them on our website is what landing pages. So we need to set that up. We need to ensure that we are giving the right kind of messaging to people on our website, which is the landing page. Strategy to generate review and testimonial. In a long run, this is what is going to play the most important role for you to get repeat purchases, to retain the business, to retain a client, and to continuously get new reference. This plays a very important role because a word of mouth is something that is most believed more than compared to any other ad or promotional content. Then social media strategy. While we do all of these things to engage with the customer and bring him on board, it is very necessary for any brand to tell the brand story to the customer so that the customer is attached to the brand. It's emotionally knows about the brand, what is happening with the brand. That's where social media comes in. Then lead management nurturing and retention. Now what happens is there are a lot of people who might be putting things in the cart and abandoning it, clicking on something, registering for something but not making the end purchase. That's when this whole thing comes in. We collect this data, which is leads for us. We nurture them, we send them. So you all must be getting a lot of emails and SMS from Myntra, Amazon, all of these. These are promotional SMS. How do they have your data? Is because you put certain things in your cart or you've registered it but you've not made an end purchase. So the aggregator platforms or any kind of brand is trying to engage you with them so as to make you purchase the product finally. And last part is analysis of this data. Where is my maximum sales happening from? Where are my leads coming from? What is happening with those leads? So that all of that comes under analytics of that. Because of this data and because of the insights that you gather, you are able to scale up your campaign and put your money in the right place. So that is the last step. Now e-commerce through digital campaigns happens in two ways. One is product validation means we are trying to build a brand, tell them the stories, tell them what other people are talking about the product, reviews, ratings, telling them the usage of the product by other people, how is the product successful. We are building the entire ecosystem around the product or the service. And another hand to this is performance marketing, wherein we are promoting our ads, we are telling them about the product, bringing them on the website or aggregator website and making them purchase. So all of your e-commerce purchase factor will come under performance marketing and product validation factor which will come under the branding side. And both of them are equally important if we want to build a sustainable model of business. Now the e-commerce strategy. Audience is there on aggregator, and audience is there outside aggregator platforms also. And by aggregators, again, the same thing, Amazon, Flipkart, Myntra, all of these are aggregator platforms. Audience is at both the places. Amazon or other, so there are different aspects to this, mainly two aspects. Any aggregator platform does not give the entire consumer data, whereas our website, when we are running e-commerce campaigns on our own website, which we have created, we are having the entire consumer data. Now, what that main difference here is, through aggregator platform, because it has its own audience which is already built and we are targeting them, we are getting volume, we can get volumes of sales through that. Whereas when we are bringing on our own website, it is new to the people, but we are collecting their main insights. So both of them are equally important. Both of them, it depends on your budgets and brand, where the brand or the product stands, which stage we are in, to keep a mix of both. Okay. Now through website, we do our own e-commerce, which is we show the ads on different platforms like Google, Facebook, Instagram, Taboola, all of these content marketing platforms. We show them our ads, we bring them on the website, we show them the entire catalog of product or the single product which they are looking for, and make them purchase. Whereas on aggregator platform, what happens is, we are showing the ads to the people, they are going on the aggregator platform, we don't know what's happening there, at the end they are purchasing or not purchasing. That's the main difference. That's the main difference between having our own website and having the aggregator website. Both of them are equally important again. Now we'll go deeper into having our own website as an e-commerce. When you're selling products from your website, these are the things that are going to play the most important role. Like we saw, there is a journey, there is a certain journey that happens. That journey happens on the website also. He is browsing your website, navigating through different tabs. So for this, you need to ensure that your website has proper UI, user experience and user interface mapped to it, so that you get the right data, you're showing the right data to the customers to engage him and make him purchase. Content strategy is, we spoke about this. Content strategy is building a story around the brand. It could be in the form of blogs, articles, reviews, rating, case studies. All of the content that we build around the product is what content strategy is. Website performance and features. We need to ensure that we are engaging people on our own website. When we are putting so much money and effort into our own website, we need to ensure we are showing them the right messaging at the right place, understanding how they are navigating our website through insights and analytics. And that's where the website performance and features come into the picture. Now we have this data because people are coming into the website, they're browsing certain products, and then we can remarket them with these insights. We can remarket them with exact those products that, hey, you put these things in your cart, but you didn't make the end purchase. Why not do it now? So things like that. Now e-commerce on social media. Now we know that in Instagram, Facebook, all of this have since some time begun their own shops. So you as a brand can list your products on Instagram feeds, you can put them on stories. So you can create an entire social media shop online just on Instagram to show these products to people via stories, your post, your feed at both the places, where people can look at, find out the brand, look up for the products that they're looking for and purchase it right then and there on Instagram. Now this for small businesses has been very, very successful. So what people have started doing is, small businesses, when the startups specifically, like for example an apparel shop or cakes, or it could be anything. I can take any example. They just start running with one particular ad wherein they're just showing their product. The messaging is very clear that this is the product, these are the features, and this is what you get out of it. The person they are able to reach out to n number of people based on the budget that they put in. These people, whoever is interested, can directly purchase it right then and there. So it becomes very cost effective and friendly for who is starting off right now for an e-commerce brand. Similarly with Facebook, they have an option to start a Facebook shop. this is since a very long time they have this. You just click on it, you can purchase it right there and then, which becomes very convenient for user and very cost effective for the brand who is trying to sell the products. Okay, now coming to Amazon campaigns. Now Amazon works in 3 different manners. One is the SEO. SEO means it works based on the keywords that people search in the search bar. Which keywords do we want to, as a brand, target those keywords and show up our products is how the whole game is. It's very similar to search campaigns. Then second part is Amazon advertising, which has sub parts to it. One is AMS, which is Amazon Marketing Services. It allows us to put up display ads within Amazon of our products. Another one is Amazon advertising platform, which is very similar. It could be on Amazon, it could be outside Amazon, wherein they show the ads on different platforms and bring people on Amazon to purchase the products. Then third part is external, wherein when we say external, there is we are running campaigns on different platforms, which is Google, Facebook, Instagram, content marketing, all of these platforms, putting our Amazon product link on these platforms and bringing people on Amazon to purchase. Then now coming to a case study, this was the most interesting case study we found that we worked on. In fact, the most interesting client of ours. So it's a Bold Care. It was a startup. It started in fact only a couple of years ago. This brand, the product here is the sexual wellness product. Now this we all know how critical or different it is when it comes to India to sell these kind of products. There is a requirement, but there are so many norms and so many hindrances to just start off anything around this that the first difficulty that the brands faced was Facebook or Google. Neither of them allowed them to start running ads. So we'll come to the challenge. Coming to the challenges, there was no market penetration. It was a new brand when we started. There were ad rejection. Like I said, neither Facebook nor Google, the two of the most important platforms, did not let us run the ads of these products because of the category that they fall in. There is high competition in the same category. There is low ECR. People look at these ads, but they don't easily click on it because they feel shy. There is shyness among people. There is complexities among people, which also creates an issue for the brand. The product performance is not. These are not allopathic products. They are regular products with a certain molecules which are going to help in sexual wellness. So it may work, may not work for any and everyone. So for people who it did not work for, they put up a lot of bad reviews about the product, which created issues when we wanted to start off new campaigns. There were more than 40 campaigns which were reported as a problematic post or a problematic ad by a consumer. So when you see an ad and you think that this is offensive, you can report the ad. That was more than 40 campaigns were reported for us, even though there was nothing. So in the beginning only we knew that these challenges could arise. So our messaging and everything was so positive and subtle, but still this was the challenge that we were facing. The ROAS expectations were very high. When I say ROAS, is return on ad spends. Whatever we are spending, we expected a very high return, but that did not necessarily happen. There are limitations of what you can say and cannot say on Google and Facebook both. In fact, any digital platform has those limitations, and it's fair. They need to put the limitations because there are a lot of fake brands out there. But this is a very genuine brand very genuine and good products that we were trying to sell. We faced all of these issues when we started. What did we do? We set up the process initially to understand the brand, product, market understanding. What do people think about it? How do they perceive the communication that was being put out? What are the top work priorities for the campaign? Create an outline in terms of priority of which of the product categories priority, which is going to get us the maximum revenue. We created an entire plan. We started with Google and Facebook, and then once we settled on these two platforms, because there was a lot of ad rejection, like I mentioned earlier. Once we settled on these, we moved on to various other platforms like YouTube, Taboola, Yahoo campaigns to increase the visibility, to increase the brand awareness, to engage people, bring them on our website and make them purchase the product. We had to do a lot of conviction to actually do this. We had to go through a lot of experimentation to do this. There was target audience experiment, which kind of people are purchasing, not purchasing the product, staying on the website, not staying on the website. What are the different media channels? That what is working for us, what channel is not working for us. So that was another set of experiment. And third was the communication, which was the main set of experiment, which we still run till date. We run communication experiments. We know what targeting works, we know what channels work, but with respect to communication, there's always scope for more. So we keep on experimenting with the communication lines, what we are saying, how quirky we can be at the same time positive. It was so after a point we were able to generate revenue, we were able to engage people and create that kind of awareness that we wanted to. We were featured along with Durex in one of the top social media aggregator platforms. These are some of the ads and posts that we did around the brand. So you won't see anything direct here, but they are all subtly talking about sexual wellness. So these are some of the social media engagement activations that we did. Now today we are running campaigns on more than 15 aggregator platforms, including One India and PharmEasy as well. Website optimizations to improve the ECR. We've done a lot of website changes and optimizations as well to get the approvals in the first place, and then to optimize it further to have a better performance on that. Then there was retention strategy of what products have worked and which are the successful products. How do we promote those set of products, in which way, with what communication, with collection of testimonials, ratings and reviews, and then we try to push those products more. So we had to change product and content strategy accordingly. And of course, the reporting and insights played the most important role to understand what channel is working, what targeting is working, and what communication is working for us. At the end, these are the results where we are at. There's monthly revenue of 40 lakhs we are generating. ROAS is more than 1.5, which is achieved. By ROAS, I mean if I'm spending 100 rupees, I'm getting at least 150 rupee revenue by spending that amount. There's 129% increase in the brand monthly searches. There's less than 10 rupee average cost per click, which we are. So optimization of the campaigns is at such a level that I'm able to generate more revenue with less amount of money by putting in less amount. This is all because of the experimentation with the insights, what worked, what did not work. So any brand when they're starting e-commerce, there will be a phase wherein you're putting in a lot of money but not getting enough for revenue. But eventually, after experimentation, after understanding the insights, you get to know what is working for you, what is not, and then you scale up what is working for you. That's the whole game of digital marketing.